Grumpy Vegan Grandad here, totally naked in the kitchen. Only joking, I got my pants on. Right, okay, this is the first vlog on my push for the perfect body and to prove to all the non-vegans out there that you can gain muscle with vegan food, with plant-based food. So, what's the story so far? The story so far is I'm under the guidance of Korin Sutton, details down below, and I've basically been on a calorie deficit for over 10 months since we finished filming Veganville last year, in April. I think I started in May. So I've been on a calorie deficit and I'm down as low as 1,500 calories a day. The average man should be consuming 2,500. The average woman should be consuming 2,000 just to maintain. But I've been on 1,500 and it's been a hard slog, very hard slog. But the way Korin does it means that you don't lose much muscle definition. However, you do lose the body fat, and that's what we're trying to do. We're trying to strip me down to 9% body fat, and I think I'm about 10.5, 11 now. But we're going to start going the other way. And now we're going to start upping the calories. But for 10 months, I've been eating very, very little calories for a guy my size. I'm 6'1". I was, what was I? I was about 13.5 stone. I'm now 12 stone. Almost dead. I think I'm 12 stone 1 or something like that. So I've lost quite a lot of weight. But it's all been fat, basically. But now we're going to start building back up. Now, a little admission to my past, I did use steroids in the past, and I used them for over 10 years, which wasn't a cruel thing to do. I don't advise anybody to do it. You get yourself in a vicious circle of using them, then losing the weight, then using them again to gain the weight, and it's horrible. And a lot of bodybuilders out there, big YouTubers and Instagram bodybuilders are all using steroids, but they're trying to sell protein powders and saying, you use this protein powder and you can look like me. Well, no, you won't look like you unless you inject steroids into your body. So this is the reason I've stripped right down, is so that I've got a complete stripped down raw base to start from, so that the non-vegans who try and pick holes in the lifestyle can't say, oh, well, it's the steroids that have done it. It's, you know. So there we go. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do monthly check-ins to show my progress. So here we go. So as you can see my ribs. You can just about see my abs. But muscle definition, still there, still got it. I'm still going to the weights. But I'm using light weights. Using light weights and an absolute shitload of reps, which burns like hell. But that is my body right now. So I'm about 12 stone, about 10, 11% body fat. So the next time we will do one of these videos will be, what we're on about, the 15th of January now, 16th of January. So about the 16th, between the 16th and 20th of February, I'll do another check-in. And I'll give my full weight. I'll get a readout of my weight and my body fat, and we'll see how it goes. Now, in 1 second, there will be an interview with Korin. So stick along for that and have a look at a little conversation me and Korin on about my future. Grumpy Vegan Grandad, checking out. I'm not naked.
So, Danny, man, like, we first met in Merthyr in the UK.
Yes.
So when we first met, like, where were you when it kind of came to your fitness? Like, where were you? How did you feel? What was your daily habits being vegan? Like, how did that go?
Right. So we first met, of course, on Veganville, which is airing now on the BBC. Massive UK channel. It's hitting people that are non-vegan, and it's a really big thing. And when we met on there, I was doing heavy low rep compound weights at the gym, I've been about 2 years out of using steroids. So of course, I put a lot of weight on very, very quickly over the previous decade or so. Stupid move. So I was sort of between, I'd say, getting to about overweight. I was getting to the point of I was overweight. I had a lot of flab, a lot of. Yeah, I wasn't where I wanted to be. I'd say I was. How can we put it? I don't know whether this is a word in the US, but I was podgy.
Yeah.
I was podgy. I was plasticine. I was sort of soft everywhere, and I wasn't training right because I was used to training while I was using gear, and that's a completely different training regime, which you'll probably know about in the circles that you move in. Is in bodybuilding. There's a lot of steroid use. And the training regime on that is pretty much you will build muscle if you go in the gym and lift a weight, you will build muscle. So
yeah,
what I needed was somebody who knew what they were doing, somebody who could advise me on food, because even though I was 4 years in on the vegan journey, I wasn't sure how to utilize the vegan diet for muscle gain. I knew there was vegan protein powders, and under my walk view was just keep scooping in the protein powder and I'll be fine. And it's not the case. I just started putting fat on. So lo and behold, my good friend Korin walks through the door, and he was like my angel, my sort of saviour. And he walks through the door, and your shoulders, your body, and said, "Look, I'm here on this show to show people what you can achieve on a vegan." And I thought, mate, you're where I want to be.
Yeah.
So of course, that's when we made the pact to sort of let's see if we can do this transformation with you.
Yeah. After the show, but I know after the show we started getting more serious, because during the show, I mean, all of us really didn't have that much time, to do a lot of things. But did you learn anything through watching the bodybuilding show and seeing how it was preparation and stuff like that? How did that?
Yeah, I mean, the bodybuilding show for me, that's not where I want to head.
Yeah.
But when I saw you on stage with a lot of men who'd sort of gorged on chicken and rice and meat, you look way bigger than them. You look, even though you was probably matched some of them, some of them might have been slightly bigger than you. You look bigger because your muscle and your body shape was completely different. It wasn't bloated. It looked really powerful, and it was amazing to see. It was absolutely amazing to see. So definitely I've learned that the meats and animal product thing is it's just a fallacy. It's just a complete lie. We don't need that. We don't need that shit, mate. It's not something we need at all. So yeah, I was really proud of my friend Korin is up there now, and he's showing these guys. Don't need it.
And you've been in the whole bodybuilding scene. I know you have friends that consume animal byproducts. They're not vegan, but they consume animal byproducts, but they don't think that you can build muscle on a vegan diet.
Correct. Yeah. I mean, some of the social media that you saw when you posted one of my first sort of comparison photographs, if you remember, and the amount of bodybuilder friends of mine who came on and commented, and they were like, well, you're going to lose muscle mass, you're going to lose this, you're going to lose that. And I said, listen, no, I'm listening to an expert here. I'm not listening to bro science in the gym. I'm listening to your bullshit. And they couldn't accept that, and they got really angry about it and started saying, man, you're going to do this, you're going to do that. And, so listening to people who guess at things isn't a good idea. Now, people, you can go down the gym and people will tell you all sorts of things. They will tell you you must eat this, you must do that, you must lift heavy weights all the time. Don't listen to it. You need an expert to tell you. You need somebody who knows how to do things right. Otherwise, you're just going to set yourself up for a fail all the time.
Yeah.
You need that person. I get a lot of people coming on to me now saying you've lost way too much weight. Look at you. Look, you've lost way too much weight. And I start believing this. But the minute I get onto the phone to you and we have one of these conversations, you put me right and say, mate, don't worry, don't ignore those. I know what I'm doing. You are fine. Don't worry. And that puts me at ease, because there's nothing worse than people because they want to see you fail, and that's the problem with anything to do with body shape, with body image, is that people can knock it so easily.
Yeah, and now you're getting compliments now, right?
Yeah. A lot of people are saying, you know, well, you're smaller but you look bigger. You're smaller but you look bigger. It's like, it's a contradiction in terms.
Yeah.
When you think about it, you are smaller but you look bigger, and it's like, yeah, I get that. But I look lean. I feel good. You know. I mean, we've talked about. I'm down now. I've stripped down now to the very lowest I can possibly get and still be healthy. Agreed. Mm. So now the tide's turning, and now I'm going to start on the program of building muscle. And I can't wait to show people the results that you can get, and how I mean, it must be nearly 2 stone, Korin. I mean, I know it's like 1.8 something I've lost, but it must be getting on to 2 stone, that all in all, since like Veganville onwards, that I must have lost 2 stone, and it's like, it's a big chunk. It's a big chunk, but it's nearly all fat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And how did your lifestyle change overall, like, after Veganville? Because I know, like, you know, we went out for drinks and stuff like that, and, you know, we were going out a couple times, but how's your lifestyle really changed now, being in my regiment?
Being in your regiment, sir, is, I'll tell you something, it's like a bit of a joke, you know. Sometimes, like my missus has bought me some ice cream, chocolate ice cream things. And when I went to the fridge last night, I actually looked round at all the cameras to make sure that there's nothing switched on in case Korin's watching me. It's a bit of a joke in the house. I hope Korin doesn't find out, you know. But that's just a one-off. But the thing is, mate, is I keep thinking you're just cheating yourself. You're just cheating yourself. And what I've found is I don't drink anymore. I've stopped drinking because I'm thinking that glass of wine. I've started thinking more. That glass of wine now is like 30 minutes on a treadmill.
Yeah.
I've started putting things into perspective, and also I've found that with dieting and with weight loss, you are more susceptible to poisons. You know, stuff that isn't good for you. So when I do have the occasional glass of wine, the day after I pay, in the fact that I can feel like the damage it's done. Does that make sense? It actually really affects me more now at the moment.
Sensitive, the healthier you get, the more sensitive.
Exactly. I'm really sensitive to poisons now. Even a paracetamol, which I don't use often, I take a paracetamol and I get like a bit of a phlegmy chest and stuff because I've had things sort of happen. Yeah, it's and it just pushes you to do more. I think, right, well, I'm going to do more now because I know what this stuff's doing to me, so I'm going to be more and more healthy, get more good food inside me, and keep it. And it gets addictive as well.
Mm-hmm.
You get hooked on it, and it's a good addiction. There's bad addictions out there, but this is a good addiction. I get hooked on it, and I'm very sort of regimented with checking my foods. I've always got the scales out, you know.
Yeah.
And I'm always carefully measuring everything, and I look at the macros and try and keep them all in line. Like today, I know I've got protein to make up now, so I'm going to take tofu because it's high protein, low carb. I know that now. I didn't know that before, but I know now if I take some tofu now and eat the tofu, I've upped my protein without upping my carbs.
Yeah.
And up my fat a little bit, which so I'm getting to it now. I'm getting into the swing of things. I mean, it does take 2, 3, 4 months to sort of get into it,
Mm-hmm.
and for it to become comfortable and for it to become routine. At first, it's a bit awkward, but the results are amazing, Korin. They really are amazing. They work. The system works, mate.
No, that's good to hear, man. That's really good to hear. And the last question I got for you is, now since we want to build muscle, are you afraid of some of the foods that you might have to consume? Like, well, I mean, you are consuming it anyway, like tofu and high protein foods. Like, are you afraid of those foods, or were you ever afraid of those foods? Because some people say like, you can't build muscle eating tofu and soy byproducts.
Well, it's a funny question because it's all down black and white. If you get MyFitnessPal and just... I showed a guy today. I was talking to a guy today who's got no sense of smell. He's a meat eater, but he's got no sense of smell. He just stopped for some reason. And he said, I can't taste most foods. And I said to him, well, you should take advantage of that. Because he knows I'm vegan. And he said, how do you mean? I said, you should start eating tofu. I said, because on its own, it really isn't a very nice thing to eat. You've got to flavour it with stuff. And I said, but you could just eat it raw, straight out of the tub, mate, because you can't smell it, you can't taste it.
Yeah.
And I said, and I got the MyFitnessPal, and I put it in. I put a full tub of tofu in, and it came up 56 grams of protein, 4 grams of carbs, and he went, "Wow, that's amazing." Do you know what I'm worried about is being able to get the calories in now.
Yeah.
Because I'm not used to having a lot of calories, so to me, 2,500 calories seems like, wow. How am I going to get 2,500 calories in? That's going to be like, that's the more mind-blowing thing to me at the moment. That's my biggest worry. It's nothing to do with getting enough protein, but I'm really looking forward to this next part of the journey. I'm really looking forward to it.
Hell yeah, man! And it's like how I do things is that we just slowly increase the caloric intake as you go through your journey when it comes to building muscle, because you can't just like start eating like 2,500 or 3,000 calories right off the bat, because your stomach is so small, and we have to increase the caloric intake as well, increase your activity level as you're going through this journey now when it comes to building muscle. So everything takes time, and eventually you'll get to a specific point where you're very satisfied with the more caloric intake that you're actually consuming, but also with the reflective results. And that's the thing that most people fail to realize, is trying to match up the physique to the actual caloric intake that you're actually supposed to be consuming.
Yeah, I get that. But,
all right, man. Well, that's all I got for you, bro.
I mean, while we're on, I know you've got to go soon because you've got plenty of clients like waiting to speak to you. But how was one question? How has Veganville affected you? Have you noticed more people sort of taking note of how you work? And because it's a big thing. I mean, 1.1 million people watched that first episode on BBC One, which is terrestrial TV. So it went into people's living rooms whether they liked it or not. It was there in front of them. So 1.1 million, maybe non-vegans, watch that. How does that make you feel?
It makes me feel great because it's sharing awareness when it comes to being on a plant-based diet on a mainstream media platform. So it's definitely a big thing, because you don't see a lot of vegan anything on any type of mainstream media platform. Yeah. So having the chance to having a TV series like this to be on such a huge platform is extremely big, and it's really important as well, because it's showing people, because there's probably a lot of people out there that has no idea what vegan is. Yeah. And when you see this type of perspective from it, is they're shown the show shows multiple different elements. It's not just one thing. Which is really good because everyone is different when it comes to this approach, you know, and it's just like Joey, you know, he said like, you know, my way isn't aggressive. I agree with him, but you still have people who think different, you know, and they can't handle it. So seeing it from different perspectives, not just one way, because I even have friends that their first interaction with a vegan, and I'm not talking about even Joey, like just because not everyone's like him. Some activists are very aggressive. Like I know some. They're doing way hardcore stuff, right? And when it comes to that, some of those individuals, that was their first impression, you know, and that individual wasn't like, you know, he wasn't showing like the square or just showing them a slaughterhouse video. Sometimes some people are the first thing they hear about vegans, maybe they're at a dinner table and a bunch of vegans come in there, start like protesting, and you know, I know it's not really aggressive. Like to me, like I said, to me, it's not an aggressive act. But you also have to think and go back where if I was in that guy's shoes, you know, how would I
react?
And because maybe they weren't ready at that period of time, that individual was like, you know, I'm just trying to have a good time. And they ruined that moment.
Can you imagine?
So they're not even looking at the activists; they're just looking at it as
inconvenience.
Distraction. And what I see is vegan labeled on them. So, and I have friends like that. Like that was their first interaction ever.
Oh my God!
They don't understand ethics. They don't understand why they're there. They just knew these guys came in, they caused a racket, and I had to leave. You know, like they weren't even there to try to So like I said before, I think with the show is great because it shows different perspectives. Like I went vegan because of activism. You know? I'm a type of individual that I want to hear the facts. I want to know the truth. Like if I can sit down and consume a piece of meat, then I should have the guts to watch it how it's prepared. I'm an individual, but everyone doesn't fall in that same genre, you know. So this is why I like the show, because it's just from different perspectives. Bodybuilder, you have the activist, you have you know, the foodie, and then also the food distributor, and also the truck driver and actor. You see different views. Everyone went vegan for different reasons. Everyone has their own particular approach, and that can touch because it was a million people, it can touch so many people.
Definitely. Because everybody can relate to somebody and think, well, there's nobody there that represents me. And there was somebody for everybody. He represented everybody there. So I think it's going to be very impactful. I told you before, a guy recognised me in the gym. It's the first time I've been recognised since the show went out. And he come over, and I found he was having a really good chat with me. And he was honest. He said to me, look, I'm eating meat, but now I've seen that, I'm going to try and cut down and eat less because of it. But at least it was honest. I prefer honesty than people squirming and coming up with stupid things to justify what they're doing. If you like meat and you're going to carry on eating meat and you want to mask it away, just say, sorry, but I'm going to carry on eating meat, I'm going to carry on not looking. Sorry, but that's the way I am. All respect. But don't start saying plants have feelings, plants scream, trees, you know, that bullshit really sort of gets me. Why do that? That, you know, just be honest, you know. But anyway, we'll see what happens. It's going to be an interesting one. It's going to be really cool.
And I feel like also I like to add is because there's so much diversity in the group, that even from the results I've seen from Veganville already, is that it all played, it kind of played together too, because I had people come to me who wants to train with me now because they were inspired from the activism, and then they was able to see like there's different alternative options, and then through that, when it came to the fitness element, they're like, okay, that's what I'm missing, and that's where I want to get to. You know, like they got the ethics, they got the introduction of the alternative meats and what's out there. Like, you know, when y'all did the burger ban, you know, that was perfect, because when, as a viewer, they're like, oh, look, I mean, all these people are loving burgers. I mean, it's not so bad. You know, a lot of testimonials from real people. Like, it's a reality show, so it wasn't all actors and shit. Yeah, this is real.
This is real, and in real time. It wasn't all, you know, it was... I was really surprised with that burger van, though. It really worked, and people were genuinely fooled. It wasn't sort of... You can't get a shitload of people coming to a football match, you know, and tell them all to pretend to like something, because they won't. They'll just go like this and go, no. We did do what we said we'd done. We gave them the burgers, then told them it was vegan. It was all genuine reaction, and it was all positive, apart from the odd one or two, of course. But yeah, really good, mate.
I feel like it's a good show because of that as well, because not just it shows the diversity, but it can also play in a role where it all works together. And when people ask me about the show, I'm just like, yeah, I mean, I really hope there's a season 2. I mean, I think it'd be great if we all came.
Miami, we want it in Miami. Please.
That'd be dope.
Please. Listen, just one question before we go. Is there anything on US TV about veganism? Has anything appeared on TV in the US that you know of?
Not mainstream, not what I know of, but I mean, the only thing I know is the latest thing was Game Changers, you know, like that's the latest thing.
Right.
That's on Netflix though.
So that's not terrestrial, is it? So wow. So I think so I think America's itching for something very similar, aren't they, soon? So, you know, just to educate the people there, because I think the American diet it makes the English diet look like one of the healthiest diets in the world, because in the US it seems like it's the same as the UK, but you get twice as much. You know, the burgers are twice as big and everything's sort of piled on. It seems like it's the UK diet, but on steroids. It's like bang, look at, you know.
Yeah, it's definitely like that over here.
A lot of obese. I mean, there's a lot of obese people in the UK, but we always joke that when we go to some place where there's American tourists, we can always tell them, because they're all about 25 stone. You know what I mean? You can always tell the Yank, and it's like it's getting a reputation. But I don't think the UK is far behind now with this, because there's more and more people getting obese in the UK, as well as prices of meat come down, and all the junk food is easier. My son actually went out. I couldn't believe this. He went to Manchester, and they've got this pub where you get chicken wings for 10 pence. What's that? I don't even know what you have. It's literally 1/20th of a dollar, whatever that is. It's nothing. It's pennies. And this is how cheap.
Same thing here.
Yeah. Absolutely. And I'm thinking 10 pence for a chicken wing. You're bringing the price of this animal's life down to nothing. To small. You can find 10 pence in the streets. It means nothing. And yet they're selling this as food, and oh man, I'm like, wow, what chance have we got with health and obesity when they're selling food that just increases your body mass so quickly, so easily.
A lot of fast food restaurants in America is like probably one of the cheapest places to go to for food, especially like McDonald's. I mean, they had I don't know if they even have it or not, but I remember that they used to have a $1 menu. They might still have it.
Yeah, they have the pound menu. The pound, yeah, £1.
Yeah, £1. Yeah, and you get whatever you want. You get soda, fries, burger. You know, all like £1, $1.
And saver menu. Yeah. Nothing. You know, it's funny, mate. I was talking with someone about when I was young in the 70s. I was young once, believe me. When I was young in the 70s, I could name the fat kid in my school because there was only one.
Yeah.
Right? And people said that it's because of sugar that our nation's got fat, right? Now, we had loads of sugar when we were kids. We could buy sweets for we had a half pence coin half of 1p, and we could buy sweets with that. The sweets wasn't the issue. And what I've noticed is what's become more prevalent over the last 3 or 4 decades is not the amount of sugar people are eating, because there was Coca-Cola in the 70s, there were sweets in the 70s. There wasn't any fast food. There was there was fish and chips, that was it. There was no McDonald's, there was none of these chicken shops. Now there's 15, 20 chicken shops down one high street, and McDonald's and Burger King. And it's this what's caused our society to grow fat. It's not the sugar, it's the fat that's made everybody fat.
Well, I mean, I personally believe it's a combination of a lot of things now these days. Well, because you have technology where, you know, more people are, I know here in America, more people, technology really made a significant difference because more people are sedentary. You know, a lot of people don't have to do a lot of active things.
Yeah.
In schools, they took away a lot of physical education and health classes out of school, you know. So it's part of that. When it comes to like certain ingredients, sugar, salt, and fats, these are 3 ingredients that's addictives in the food industry. So a lot of your processed foods, because before, back in your time, there wasn't that much processed food.
No, there wasn't.
Okay?
There wasn't.
So when it comes to like sugars, let's say like your natural sodas, or not natural sodas, but your natural sugars from fruits and things like that, like that wasn't a problem because it's a plant-based food. Like, but if you drank a soda, you know, back then, like those sodas weren't loaded up with that much sugar. Plus, a lot of people, drinking a soda wasn't really a big deal because it was like a specialty.
Yeah.
Now, these days, you get a soda, you know, you go to McDonald's, Burger King, where any type of fast food joint, you know, you do a super size or something. A small is like almost 12 ounces. You know, a large is like, it's like that big.
Yeah.
You know, I don't even know how many ounces it is, but it's a lot. I think like 24, 48 ounces, something like that. It's something crazy.
Yeah, yeah.
And to even be serving that, you know, that's ridiculous. And you see this in fast food places, in gas stations, in movie theaters, you know, consuming that. And if you actually count how much grams of sugar,
I wouldn't even want to do that. Oh, man, no.
Oh, man, you're like in the hundreds. That's almost a whole meal. It's almost 2 meals.
Yeah.
So it's like this, and with the sugar, salt, and fat, like I said, these are additives. So when it comes to the food industry, especially with the processed foods, a lot of these foods that's processed and engineered, they're not even made in a factory. They're not even made in like a farm. A lot of it's made in a lab, and they're genetically engineered to get you hooked, to get you like.
Really? Wow! You're getting very conspiracy theory here.
You always want more of it. So when you're looking at processed foods, fast food, junk foods, like this is why, you know, even kids, like child obesity is an epidemic right now. Yeah. Because sugar, right, is like cocaine for kids, and they'll get addicted to that like it's crazy.
Oh, tell me about it.
Will get so neutralized and so over active of those certain artificial flavors, chemicals, and processed junk that when you try to give them an apple or a broccoli, they spit it out. Like, I don't want this. I don't like that.
Do you know something? I had this exact same thing with my granddaughter. And she used to love eating bits of fruit, bananas, bits of broccoli with a bit of lime juice on it, all that stuff. She loved it. Then my wife started, Grandma, who's supposed to spoil the grandchildren, started giving her sweets. I'm like, why are you giving her sweet stuff? Why are you giving her that? It's going to put her off, because as soon as she has something less sweet, like an apple or a bit of vegetable, it's going to taste bitter compared with that sweetness. Yeah. So, and it's happened right in front of me, but there's nothing I can do, mate. Nothing I can do.
And whoever's listening to this and you don't believe what I'm saying, it's simple. Like you can just take a soda or Kool-Aid or any type of juice, you know, that's in a box, drink a cup, and then after that, grab like something that's like more natural, like an apple, and just your taste buds alone, just for that moment, like from the orange juice, the box orange juice, to like an apple, the apple is going to taste bitter. And it's not the apple, because if you ate the apple first, like you can, wait maybe a couple hours and eat the apple again, the apple is going to taste sweet.
Yeah.
That's just to show you what like high sugar and processed stuff does with your taste buds.
Have a try, guys. Have a try it and just see if that works. That's interesting. Yeah, definitely. I'm going to try that myself, actually. Yeah,
it saturates it.
Yeah.
And you're not, and anything natural is not going to taste the same, because
exactly, yeah, of course.
Is grown that way, with a balance.
Yeah.
Through the sugar and stuff like that, like as much sugar that apple or that fruit might have is balanced, so you can't gain weight or get super addicted, because it has a lot of fiber in it.
Yeah.
That's just nature created it. It's like it created it just like that for us.
I mean, I've always said to
in boxes.
Yeah, I've always said to people, you're very jerky, and I'm like sort of trying to speak back to you, and you keep sort of well, I've always said to people, you can eat 3 oranges and you'll be full, but if you juice 10 oranges and put it in a glass, you can drink 10 oranges quite easily.
Yep.
There you have it. So yeah, it's important, mate. It's important to eat the fruit, not sort of drink these juices, and you got to take stock on what you're actually consuming. Yeah, mad, mate. We live in a mad world.
Yeah.
Don't we? A mad world. It's all pushed in you. I mean, the people go on about veganism being pushed into people's faces, but everywhere I walk, they've got McDonald's, we've got Burger King, we've got Subway, we've got all these adverts coming at me everywhere I go. I've got the smells of it. It's being pushed in my face every single day, everywhere I go. It's like
that's the reality. The reality is that the meat is pushed on people who doesn't want to eat it, but people don't realize that, because they're I don't know what to call it, stuck in the matrix. They got the goggles on. They're not woke. Whatever you want to call it. That's what it is, and it's pushed. Like, because I always say this, like when people complain about vegans pushing objective on somebody, I'm like, well, turn on the TV and see how many vegan commercials actually show up on your damn television.
Yeah.
Zero.
You're
not going
zero.
Like you're going to find more meat commercials, more soda commercials, and then right after those commercials, they're pushing the drugs.
Yes, to put it right. Indigestion tablets, paracetamol. Yeah, it's all there. Viagra now is being advertised on TV. It's like, woo!
But vegans push their agendas on people, and this is when marketing and advertising for the meat, dairy, and egg industry, especially pharmaceutical companies as well, is really working.
Of course,
that's when you know it's working.
Yeah.
That's why it's not good to I don't entertain and argue with those individuals, because I'm like, to me, in my eyes, I'm just like, they're bought.
Yeah.
They're sold. This stamp is already on their forehead.
Yeah.
It's like, until they're ready, like, I'm not getting through this guy, because the industry already has a value and very committed customer.
Yeah, and they've got 100 years of marketing experience behind them. They did it with the cigarettes.
Yeah.
They marketed the cigarettes as a health hobby. So the meat industry are using that exact same model to market meat to us as they did with the cigarettes.
Yeah.
Yeah, it all makes sense, mate. Well, listen, thank you so much for that. I'm going to speak to you again in a month's time for my channel, because I'm going to do a sort of weigh-in sort of picture of me, a quick sort of look at the body, and we'll have another little talk about what the next part of the plan is, and we're going to do this over the next few months, just to sort of transform and see what your ideas on it are, and let everybody see, what you've got in store for me. It'll be interesting for people to see both.
Oh yeah, man. Yeah, no doubt. And you recorded it on your end as well, right?
Yep, I've recorded this now, so I've got this recorded. Okay. Yeah. I hope I have. Anyway, we'll see.
Yeah, let's see how it turns out.
See how it turns out.
All right, man. Well, I definitely have to let you go. I do have a call right after you, so let me go ahead and take this call. And yeah, man, it was great talking to you and getting all this footage. So yeah, man, I'll just talk to you soon. All right.
I'll speak to you soon. See you later,
All right,
Korin.
man.
Thank you so much.